Hello, I'm Sonia West reporting for Sanjha TV. We are here in Abbotsford where we are at the rally for Mike de Jong. He is a candidate for the Conservative Party for Abbotsford South Langley. We're here. There's a lot of people here. Two communities in Abbotsford that are prominent, which is the Dutch community and the Punjabi community. So they're all together. We've got the Cowboys and the Indians here in Abbotsford tonight. So let's take a look at the rally. Take you inside the rally. Hun assi thanu leke javange in the live press conference here, the rally for Mike de Jong.
Good evening. Bonsoir. That's pretty tough. Yeah. Why it's not just goedenavond. That's it. That's all I got. Sorry. That's all I got. You ready to help save Canada? Yeah. You ready to help fix what is wrong with our country and turn ourselves to the country that we all know we can be? The country where there's promise for our kids and grandkids. Are you ready to do that? Yeah, I know you are. I know that you are because I know something about the people in this room. I know that no matter if you were born in Abbotsford or Amritsar or Amsterdam, whether you came from Langley, Ljubljana,
Kidnapped.
let's start with L. Whether you came from Matsqui, Moga, or Munich, Beardenville, Pachella, or Paris. And whether you're a teacher, a notary, a flight instructor, a doctor, a nurse, an engineer, a rancher, business people, a farmer. What we all are is members of the Canadian family.
Here we are.
We are that family. We are Canada. Canada belongs to us. And all of us are here today, I believe, because we want to take Canada back. We want to take Canada back so that it belongs to the people once again. We want to take Canada back from a group that is apparently content with driving us into levels of debt that we have never seen before and foisting that debt on you. And where's Alex's little guy? Girl. That's a different discussion. That's we're not getting into. Because at the rate this government, Mr. Trudeau and this government are spending, it'll be that 2-year-old, that 2-month-old's grandchildren that have to pay this off. That's not acceptable for Canadians. Right. We want to take our country back from a group that believes it's okay to have escalating crime rates, to have a court system that doesn't impose any sanction on criminals, that seems to think it is okay to say to our kids, if you want to use drugs, that's fine, we're going to make them available to you and we'll call them safe drugs. There's nothing safe about it, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, that's right. That's
No such thing as safe heroin, there's no such thing as safe cocaine, there's no such thing as safe crystal meth. But I fear, as I know you do, for the message this government, this Trudeau government, this Liberal government has sent, by the way, in cahoots with the provincial government. And there's lots of blame to spread around here.
Yeah.
We want to take our country back because we remember a day when people like Jerry St. Germain and Stockwell Day sat in our parliament, when Canada was respected around the world.
Hear, hear.
It wasn't that long ago, people wanted to buy a maple leaf and put it on their backpack. Even people that weren't Canadians wanted to buy a maple leaf and put it on their backpack. Remember those days when you would drive through an airport and you were proud? You were proud of the fact that you were from Canada. You were proud of the fact that you were from British Columbia. You were proud of the fact that people looked at our country and said, that's what we want to be like. We were respected for a whole bunch of reasons, ladies and gentlemen. One of the reasons we were respected is because we were seen to be a reliable ally. We were seen to be a reliable ally. You know, we're not a military nation, although when the world needed us in World War I and World War II, we answered the call in Korea, in peacekeeping missions all over the world. But the world knows that when a country invades, as Russia did, Canada's not going to be the first in line to send divisions. But there are things we can do. When our allies in Germany and the Netherlands and Belgium, France, when they say to the Russians, we're not going to buy your energy anymore, that's one of the ways we are going to impose sanctions on you for taking a step that is unacceptable. That was the cue for Canada to step forward and say, gets cold in Germany in the wintertime. We need some energy. That was the cue for Canada to say, we'll fill the breach. We'll step up because we are blessed in this country with a plethora, with a whole bunch of resources, including energy. And what did our Prime Minister and what did our Liberal government say? They said, no, we won't help you. We won't help our allies. And look at where we are today. That's not the Canada that we want. Is that the Canada we want?
No.
Absolutely not. You know, I look around the room and I know so many of you. I've come to know you over the years and you've come to know me, and I've had the privilege to represent you for a number of years provincially. And it's gratifying beyond description to see you all here, to see friends who, all of you have other things taking place in your life, and yet you've come here this evening to make a statement. You're making a statement. I'm proud and pleased that part of that statement is your support for me, but that statement is that you care about this country and you're prepared to roll up your sleeves to help save this country. And that's a gift that you're giving the rest of the country. I have to say thank you to a group of people who've helped make this evening happen. Pavan is here somewhere. Wade, Marty, Allison, Brian, Nick is here. Mario came over. There's a whole team of people that make something like this happen. But in thanking them, they are motivated, just so you know, they are motivated by the same thing that brought you here today. Because they have a vision of what Canada can be and should be. I hate dwelling on the negatives. My chai cup is always half full. It's never half empty. I drink a lot of chai. My chai cup is half full. So when we talk about how we're going to fix this country, because that's what we got to talk about. People know what the Liberals have done to this country. When we talk about how we're going to fix it, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to start with some pretty fundamental basics. How about this? How about the fact that the government should respect you as taxpayers by not spending billions more than you send to the government? Now, I'm going to tell you something.
Right.
In this room today are two former provincial finance ministers. Now, I'm one of them. Stockwell Day's the other. Now, between us, Stockwell Day and I tabled 9 or 10 balanced budgets. So when you hear people like Chrystia Friedland and others saying, "Oh, it can't be done," it can be done, but you need governments and you need representatives who believe in a set of principles. And the set of principles that we believe in is the same one that guides you at your table, at your kitchen table, in your house, which is, as a family, if we continuously spend more money than we have, guess what? We're in trouble. At our business, whether we're in the notary business, whether we're in the flight training business, these are funded, whether we're in the agri-food business. Jerry knows this. Oh, there's my chai cup and it's half full. Jerry knows this. Jerry's a smart businessman. He knows that if he continuously sells his cucumbers and peppers for less than it costs him to make them, you're going out of business, folks. So we got to bring some fiscal discipline back to government.
Here, here.
We got to bring some fiscal discipline back to government. You know, when Mary reminded me,
I'm behind the booth.
Mary reminded me, someone said, well, how are you going to do that? Because it seems like it's been so long since any notion of fiscal discipline has mattered within government. Mary reminded me when we were in government provincially and I was the finance minister, she said something to me tonight. She said, you know what, Mike? You were the finance minister the first time I got my full paycheck. Now, you know what she meant? She meant because when we were in government, if the ministers didn't stick within their budget, and if the government didn't balance the budget, the ministers didn't get their full salary. Yeah, you're allowed to clap for that. You have to bring a sense of personal accountability to the people that we elect to represent us, ladies and gentlemen.
Here, here.
They need to understand that it's not their money, it's your money. And every single time government spends money, it is coming out of your pocket. That's not a complicated concept, but it's one that we seem to have lost sight of. And we need a taxation regime in this country that is competitive, that doesn't punish people for being successful.
Yes.
You know? People work hard. I think we got families in Langley, in Abbotsford. They work hard, they've got a small business, they want their kids to go to BCIT or SFU, they buy a condo. Kids can use it when they're going to school, and afterwards they hang on to it. Maybe mom and dad go to a hockey game or go to a show. And what did the Liberals do? They want to take two-thirds. They want to take two-thirds of whatever good fortune has followed that hardworking family. They're going to take it away from them. You know, for that family, can we all be honest with one another? You know what that represents? That's their pension plan.
Right.
Yeah. Here, here. Yes.
They don't have a public sector pension plan. All of their savings are caught up in that. We shouldn't be punishing people for working hard and being successful. And ladies and gentlemen, Canadians are compassionate people. But we have to address the rapid increase in crime and the impact it is having on families and communities right across Canada, and certainly right across British Columbia. There's a lady here who bought a place in the redeveloped part of Abbotsford. It's a beautiful new complex, beautiful new home where she makes her home with her family. Here's the problem. Within 4 months of moving in, that drug problem that plagues us has now visited upon her neighborhood. You know, this experiment with legalizing drugs hasn't worked. It hasn't worked for Canadians as a society.
Right.
Canadians shouldn't be forced to pay the price by sacrificing their own sense of safety because of an experiment.
Right.
But do you know who else it hasn't worked for? It hasn't worked for the people that are addicted to the drugs. All we are doing is perpetuating a life of misery for those people. What Canadians, I believe, are prepared to do is allocate some funding to ensure that when a person finds themselves in that situation, there's a detox counseling facility available for them now, not 6 months from now.
Right.
Let's give people some hope again and not simply perpetuate a life of misery, which is what the present government seems to think is acceptable. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think all of us can agree that in the last 8 years, I mean, you think about where Canada stood internationally 8, 9 years ago and where we are today. Now this can be fixed. We have a trade minister, former trade minister. You're probably going to hear a little bit from Stockwell Day about the importance of that international relationship that Canada needs to create. We are 40 million people in the second largest country in the world. We need to trade. We need to have relationships with other countries. We've got a challenge to the south right now. Let none of us underestimate the nature of that challenge. But we can rise to the occasion, but we need to do so professionally. It's been amateur hour, I'm sorry to say, on the international front in Canada for too long. We need a professional group who understand the importance of those relationships and can manage those relationships professionally. So, the question for you is, do you think we can do it?
Your hands.
I believe that we can rebuild this country. Can we turn Canada back into the country that we were once proud of? Can we do that? Can we turn Canada back into a country that people can get jobs in, that people want to invest in, and when they do invest, have a chance to succeed? Can we do that? Can we turn Canada into a country that the rest of the world looks at, particularly our allies, and says we want to be like them because this is a Canada where freedom matters, where the right to worship freely matters, where you can have real freedom of speech? Can we do that? And ladies and gentlemen, let's lock arms. Let's talk to our neighbors. I have one more question for you. Can we send a representative from Abbotsford, South Langley, to Ottawa, who's got the experience necessary to begin contributing to that rebuild on day one as part of a Pierre Poilievre-led Conservative? And ladies and gentlemen, let's do it, shall we? Now I want to introduce you to a fellow that I came to know a number of years ago. There aren't many people There aren't many people that can claim to have been elected or been elected to public office longer than our next guest. Simon Gibson is one of the few, and Jerry St. Germain is the other. And they're both sitting around him. Jerry, 1984 by-election?
83.
83, a day that will live in infamy. I will never forget Jerry St. Germain, Main Streeting on Main Street and Mission, the way they used to do it. And Brian Mulrooney in tow, but Jerry was the star of the show that day, I'll tell you. Our only federal forest minister, right, Jerry?
Yes, and Minister of Transport.
And Minister of Transport. And of course, Simon Gibson is an institution around these parts because of the contributions he's made over 5 decades now. Elected in the 1970s.
Yeah, but who's counting?
But who's counting, said Simon. Stockwell Day started off in 1986. He was elected as an MLA in Alberta. He became the Labour Minister. He eventually ended up Chair of Treasury Secretary, Finance Minister in Alberta. And again, demonstrated that he believed in fiscal responsibility and respected the taxpayers. He then went on to become a leader at the federal level and to play an instrumental role in the Conservative governments under Stephen Harper. I would suggest to you this, that there is, aside from the Prime Minister, perhaps the Finance Minister, Minister of Trade is arguably the most important person in our federal government because so much of our wealth is dependent on the success of the Minister of Trade. He was the Minister of Public Safety. And you know what he understood? He understood that there have to be sanctions for criminal behavior. When someone commits a crime, when someone is arrested, and when someone is found guilty in our courts, there have to be sanctions. And that is a message that Stockwell Day had no problem repeating, and no problem emphasizing. Yes, the courts are independent, but the courts need to know what the expectations of the federal parliament is, and the expectations of the federal parliament are outlined in a little document called the Criminal Code of Canada. And I'm sorry to say that the present government has dismantled many of the features of the Criminal Code of Canada that actually do impose sanctions for criminal misconduct in this country. Stockwell Day understood that. And Stockwell Day understood something else about this part of the world. He actually represented a constituency in British Columbia, in the Okanagan. But Stockwell Day understood and understands the importance of British Columbia and Vancouver as our gateway to much of the world. And when we were government, when he was in the federal government, Mary and I were in the provincial government, we worked closely together to capitalize and expand on those opportunities. And my friends, many of you, I think there's a few people who hail from Punjab here. Anyone? Anyone? All right, look, I got it. You've known me long enough, I got to do it. Where's the Moga Mafia? Who's here from Moga? Come on. There we go. There we go. Who's from Lujana? Who's from... No one from Lujana? Amritsar?
Right here.
Amritsar. There they are. There's the Amritsar crew. Chandigarh. No, they're in Chandigarh. Which sector? Stockwell Day understood that the relationship between Canada and India is of paramount importance, and ladies and gentlemen, it's not in a good place right now.
Mike de Jong is shaking hands with all of the people that are here supporting him tonight. The community is very excited to support Mike. You heard Stockwell Day talk about what's going on here tonight, and he talked about Pierre Poilievre and all of their policies and talking about Marxists. How are you? Oh my goodness, what an exciting time for you.
Very exciting and very gratifying and inspiring when you see this many people, hundreds of people come out who really want to take their country back.
You know what I love is as we're talking, you've got all these people rallying around you right here for the camera. They want to show their support, even on TV. We're live right now. What do you want to say to the people that are watching? We heard you say your cup of jaw is half full.
Yeah, we've got some challenges facing this country, but every one of you who is sitting in your living room watching this program, and I know there are tens of thousands of you, we can take our country back and we can fix this. But we need you to get involved. We need, obviously, in my view, we need to elect a Pierre Poilievre-led Conservative government. We need to reintroduce some common sense to government. That's what all of these people believe, and you can do it. This country belongs to you, not the politicians and not the elites, and you can make it better.
So, Mike, one thing I really need to know is how can we make it happen? You did a great job up there. Everybody loves you. How do we make it happen?
Well, join my party, join the Conservative Party of Canada, and come to a nomination meeting. The date will likely be next month. If you live in Abbotsford, South Langley, we're going to have a nomination contest. I'm asking for your support. Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party of Canada need your support wherever you live and wherever you're watching this program in Canada. Take out a membership, get a lawn sign, support your local Conservative candidate.
I know you want to wrap this up, but real quick, you talked about Ludhiana, Moga, Chandigarh. You named all Amritsar. How are you so familiar? I mean, we've got such a diverse crowd. We've got the Dutch community here, the non-South Asian community, and the South Asian community, and everybody loves you. You got the Cowboys and the Indians today. Tell me, how do you feel about all of this support? And you know so much about our culture.
But this is Canada, and one of the great gifts I've received in over 30 years of public service is the support from the South Asian community and Punjabis in particular. And whether it's Amritsar, or Bathinda, or Moga, or Ludhiana, or Jalandhar, or Nawashar, or Chandigarh, or Chananwal, or Alamgir, all of these places that I've had the honor and privilege to visit and get to know people, and they are roots. But what links all of us in this room, of course, is that we are all members now of the Canadian family. And we are so lucky in this country that people came from Punjab, they came from India, they came from the Netherlands, they came from Germany, they came from other parts of the world and created a family here. And that's the family that we have to work together now.
Amazing. Mike DeYoung, good luck to you. Not that you need it, you've got this. And also, Sat Sri Akal.
Sat Sri Akal.
Thank you. So we're still live. I'll let you continue on because you've got so many people that want to talk to you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to Sanjha TV.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਪਈ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੈਸਟ ਆਏ ਹੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋਗੇ in English. Hello, how are you? You look beautiful tonight. You look so beautiful. You dressed up for the rally.
Oh, thank you for the compliment. And yes, it was very, very nice. And
We're live right now. Did you want to say a message about the Conservative Party or Mike DeYoung? Did you want to just say something to the people watching?
we wish them the best. We really, really hope that the Conservatives are going to be in. And we're rooting for them. And it was a very nice evening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Political expert and media personality, Loveleen, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for asking.
Yes, I'm very good. किन्ना बढ़िया लग्या जो गल्लां सी कीतियां. Actually, इधरले पासे आओ just so we can be more comfortable. Loveleen, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ stage ਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ message ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ about immigration and what did you say immigration?
ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਸੋਨੀਆ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਚੇਚੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਸਮਾਂ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਇਸ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਕਵਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਰਿਗਾਰਡਿੰਗ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਧਿਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇਹ ਭਰਮ ਪਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਐਂਟੀ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਆਖਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਨਿਰਾਧਾਰ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਾਰਪਰ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਲਿਸੀਜ਼ ਦੇਖੋ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਡਿਸਾਈਸਿਵ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਡਿਲੀਵਰ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ।
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੀਆਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਪੀਆਰ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਟਾਈਮਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੌਖੀ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਸੀ, ਹੁਣ ਬਚਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੋਕ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਟੰਗੇ ਹੋ ਆ।
ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਕਸਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਐਂਟਰੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਹਾਰਪਰ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ, ਉਸ ਦਾ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾਮ ਬਦਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰੋ ਮੌਜੂਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਲਿਸੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਯੂਐਨ ਨੇ ਮਾਡਰਨ ਡੇ ਸਲੇਵਰੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਇੱਕ ਹਿਊਮਿਲੇਟਿੰਗ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਰੀ ਫੋਰਨ ਵਰਕਰਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਤੇ ਮਾਡਰਨ ਡੇ ਸਲੇਵਰੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼ਾ ਲਗਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਕੌਣ ਪ੍ਰੋ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕੌਣ ਨਹੀਂ।
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ immigration humiliation. ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ stage ਤੇ immigration humiliation, that's 100% accurate, Loveleen. That's the words that everybody should realize that that's what's happening ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ.
ਜੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਯੂਐਨ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਵਰਡ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਵਰਤਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਹਿਊਮਿਲੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਯੂਐਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਮਾਡਰਨ ਡੇ ਸਲੇਵਰੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਬੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਗਲਤ ਰੁਝਾਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਜੋ ਹਾਰਪਰ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਜੋ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਸੀ ਇੱਕ ਸਮਾਂਬੱਧ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਦਿਨ ਮੰਥਸ ਪਰਮਾਨੈਂਟ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਇੱਕ ਟਰਾਂਸਪੇਰੈਂਟ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਜਾਏ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜੂਝਣਾ ਪਵੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਦਾ ਨਾ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਦਾ ਨਾ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਸੋ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਮਾੜੀ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਮਾੜਾ ਹੈ
Loveleen, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਰੈਲੀ ਤੇ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਮਾਈਕ ਡੀ ਯੋਂਗ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ everything's going to go smooth for Mike de Jong ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ with this rally he has a lot of support
ਸੋਨੀਆ ਜੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਮਾਈਕ ਡੀ ਯੋਂਗ ਦੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਬੜੇ ਹੀ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸਡ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਹਾਲਾਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਕਸਪੈਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੂਵਨ ਵਿਦ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਬਣੇ ਹੋਏ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਾਜ਼ੁਕ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਹੈ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮਾਈਕ ਡੀ ਯੋਂਗ ਫਾਈਨਾਂਸ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਵੀ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਟੈਰਿਫਸ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਥ੍ਰੈਟ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਖਤਰਨਾਕ ਹਾਲਾਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਬੇੜੀ ਪਾਰ ਲਗਾ ਸਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਜਿਹਾ ਤਜਰਬੇਕਾਰ ਲੀਡਰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਮਾਈਕ ਡੀ ਯੋਂਗ ਤੋਂ ਸਿਵਾ ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਸਾਊਥ ਲੈਂਗਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਹੋਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਸਦਾ
Loveleen, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ we are live all over the world so ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ right there ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ
ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫੇਰ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੀ ਇਹ ਗੁਜ਼ਾਰਿਸ਼ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਆਫ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਹੱਥ ਮਜ਼ਬੂਤ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਣ ਤੇ ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਸਾਊਥ ਲੈਂਗਲੀ ਨਾਲ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਤਾਲੁਕ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਮਾਈਕ ਡੀ ਯੋਂਗ ਦੀ ਇਸ ਰੇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੋਮੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਰੇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਧ ਚੜ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਵੇ
Very good. Thank you so much. And I know one of the platform topics is family with the Conservatives. All about family. And congratulations to you and your beautiful baby boy. Baby boy. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lovely. The immense pleasure of interviewing the Honourable Stockwell Day. It's so good to see you. How are you?
Great to see you, Sonia. Good. Thank you.
So we just heard you speak on the stage endorsing Mike de Jong here in Abbotsford, South Langley. And we heard you say a few very interesting things about maybe hinting that the Liberals might have a bit of a Marxist view.
Well, I talk about cultural Marxism in terms of their policies of not really appreciating the importance of families, not really appreciating the importance of families being able to afford homes, private property, young people being able to have that, always wanting to take capital from people. Capital is just like your earnings, your savings, your inheritance. They just keep cranking up the taxes. And also, it's culturally Marxist to not allow full freedom of speech in terms of opposing government. And they continue to encroach on that. So these are all policies that the Liberal candidates say, they all support the same policy.
Yeah, you had said that even if it's not Justin Trudeau, if it is someone else, they have the same beliefs.
That's the problem. They all support the policies that Justin Trudeau was pushing on everybody. And I've asked in terms of even my postings, I've asked Mark Carney, which of these would you be against? How would you be different than Justin Trudeau? And there's no response. So people just need to be aware that they're just bringing in another Liberal that would support the same policies that are hurting our countries, hurting our families, and hurting our future.
Right. And you mentioned Pierre Poilievre. Now, you said that you also think that he's doing a fine job. Tell us a little bit about that and your relationship with Pierre Poilievre.
Well, he first worked for me in Ottawa, so I got to know him when he's a young man. He's still pretty young. And so I saw very early his passion for people, the fact that he's in touch with the things that matter most. He doesn't get trapped in the political bubble. He never has. And he understands what it's going to take to turn things around. So I've got a lot of confidence in him, and I can assure other people they can be confident in his abilities also.
Wonderful. You were instrumental in shaping the right for Canada, the political landscape. What are you up to these days?
Well, you know, you never really escape from politics. So, I mean, here I am tonight But you still like I do some political training and working political strategy, and then working with a number of companies, energy companies and others that have some great thoughts on how to best use our energy, reduce emissions worldwide by getting our natural gas shipped to countries like China and India, and not letting Russia do it. So there's some companies out there they've got their focus right, and we're trying to help them.
There's only one Stockwell day right here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Sonia. Good to see you.